Not a good day today. Bob's worse. He stands up now and then, just runs backwards and flips over on his back. He ate all right this morning, and drank, but he's not eating now. He's got lice again. Again, I only found a couple of live ones around his neck, back of his neck, but I had them crawling all over me earlier and I nearly went insane. I can't diatomaceous earth him because it's wet outside today, so he can't dust himself sort of off out there. It'd just be all in the house every time he convulses. The convulsions are getting worse, but every 2 minutes again, and they're really aggressive, very aggressive. My turkey died in the night. I'm post-morteming her at the moment, and it's absolutely disgusting. I've had to come in and take a breather because of the smell, and I remember the smell. Egg peritonitis. I lost a hen years ago with it, and when I opened her up I was nearly sick with the smell, and she's got the same smell. Everything looks as if it's rotten. I don't know if it's a gizzard I'm looking at or a growth in her egg laying equipment, but she's got aspergillosis going on, she's got ascites, gallbladder's shot, her intestines are all to cock, her crop is the size of a football and reeking, so nothing's gone down, it's full of gas. She's an absolute mess. Whether I video me findings or not, I don't know. I might do, and then it'll be up to anybody whether they want to look at it or not, but I'll give warning first. The little hen, little bare neck hen, treated her again yesterday for lice. She had liquid diarrhoea. It was absolutely disgusting and absolutely reeked too, so she's got a problem, and I very nearly put her back out with the others this morning. To give it up as a bad job to see how she did outside, if she improved, but she did actually have some breakfast, so I'll leave things as they are with her for the minute. Obviously the eggs are still in the incubator, but I think if I decide not to let her brood these eggs, I'm just going to let them die, because I'm not going to rear young guinea fowl and young chickens again. I can't be doing with it. Just haven't got the wherewithal about me now. I'm too cheesed off with life as it is in general. So there we are. So I might pick this up when I go back outside to carry on with her, but with the turkey. But she suffered. I shouldn't have kept her going. I should have just prolonged her agony. Here he goes again. There's no point in me even trying to stop him, because he gets himself into more of a state. You're going to smother yourself in the bag there. No, you're not. Okay. So, still haven't managed to find a chicken expert vet in the UK. I'm still searching. My daughter's on it now as well. She's looking for me too, because she knows I don't have any time to do anything, what with trying to feed him, water him and stop him fitting, and now with the turkey. So she's taken up the search, but I haven't heard anything from her, so she obviously hasn't found anybody either. But I don't know what to do with Bob. I don't want to put him out of his misery, because he's not in misery, but he can't carry on like this. I'm trying him with vitamin E now as well, just in case, because I was researching vitamin E deficiency, and they said paralysis and convulsion type things. That's with chicks, but they don't really mention adult birds, and I've looked up about, I don't know, 10, 15 sites. No, 12 sites, that's right, 12. I was researching all that until 3 o'clock this morning, and he did nothing but fit for the rest of the time afterwards and before. So I'm going to have my cup of tea, chill for a second, then go back out and carry on with the turkey to see what the rest of her egg laying equipment's up to. It looks reasonably healthy, but I can't actually get to it. It's fat's all stuck to it. Everything's stuck up with fat and sort of fibrous tissue, sort of membrane, but it's horrible membrane. It's thick and hard and rigid. There's no give to it, and it's sort of grey in colour. So she was basically going rotten. And she did this, as I say, regularly for about 3 weeks last spring, and at 6-week intervals during the whole course of the summer after that. So 3 more times after that, and then she was final winter, and then she started again the end of February, because it got very warm here February, and she started again February, so she's been on and off continuously since the end of February, so for 10 weeks. Middle to end of February, 10, 11 weeks, nearly 3 months. So everything seemed to keep her going, the cat's claw and the natural yoghurt, and then she would improve a bit, but obviously that 2-day course of antibiotics I gave her, because I was wondering if it was typhoid or something to do with the egg laying equipment, maybe a bacterial thing. I didn't want to get in septicemia. With the aspergillosis, although it wasn't that bad, it's not that bad in the by the look of it. Of course, the antibiotics, here it goes again. The antibiotics just would have... Oh, Bob. Go and land in Bray's bag, and then that tends to stop you. Oh no, you've missed the bag, okay. Poor Bob. What are we going to do with you, eh, boy? I honestly don't know. But, of course, the antibiotics just would have made it so much worse. But her lungs look as if they're completely shot as well. They look grey-black. But I haven't quite managed to get to them yet. As I say, the membranes, all, the air sacs are all hardened and rigid, and it's very difficult to cut through them without cutting a main organ, because it's all everything's stuck together. It's absolutely disgusting, and there's fat in through everything, and oh God, and the smell, oh Jesus, it's the most revolting smell. I'm not squeamish at anything except, I don't know, rotting bodies like rats and mice, and peritonitis type things, which is what she's obviously had. But yeah, it turns me up. But there we are. I will persevere and carry on and get to the bottom of it. But it's gruesome. But she died possibly because she didn't get up on her roost last night with the others. She was lying in the nest, and I just went in there to comfy her a little bit more, because she was sort of not laying in the hay. So I just pulled the hay up around her so she was a bit more supported. Then she got up and then stood behind the block that I've got the planks balanced on, wedged on, held on, and I wasn't happy with that, so I gently moved her around and put her back on the nest. And then she went forward a little, and she obviously died not long after that, because she was wedged up against the wood framework of the shed behind the block, and sort of crumpled with her head up. In fact, I thought she was still alive this morning when I opened the door. And then I realised, because I thought she was just lying there because she looked quite comfy, but then I realised that no, she was dead and she was absolutely stiff. So that has obviously made a difference to the findings internally, that everything has started to decay, but not to the degree that she looks like she's decayed. She looks like she's been dead for a month, the state of her innards. But there we are. So I will continue in a second. Don't quite know what to make of old Bob there. He hasn't had a fit for 3.5 hours. I managed to get him outside this afternoon for a bit. Grass was still a bit damp, but the sun was out and it was pleasant, and I must admit I couldn't stand him being in the kitchen fitting and throwing himself around anymore, and he was breaking his bloody neck. I don't know if the vitamin E's kicked in and if that is helping, but so I had the first dose this morning, 3 drops, just three drops. That's very strong vitamin E. Well, no, it's not very strong. It's just a big capsule, so there's a lot of it. So he had 3 drops of that in his egg. He was trying to stand outside, but he couldn't, so I was just standing holding him up, and he was just trying to go backwards, but I didn't let him go backwards, and it seemed to be his left leg doesn't want to move. His right leg will go backwards, but his left leg won't go forwards or backwards, and then he just sort of flips over on his tail and goes backwards full astern, or balances himself by putting his head down and then flips over frontwards that way and breaks his bloody neck, but his cone's all wimped again and all folding over. So that was standing up this afternoon, but now it's all drooped, so I don't know what to make of it. But he hasn't had a fit, so I'll say for 3.5 hours. So we'll see what he does when I get him off the floor and put him in his corner. Hope he doesn't fit in there. He really does chuck himself about. I put a bit more diatomaceous earth on him on his back, under his wings and around his neck. That seems to be where the bloody buggers are. But yeah, he's had a good feed, he's had a good drink. So we'll see what tonight brings. He was actually sleeping with his head under his wing earlier, until my son came crashing in and disturbed him. He hasn't put it back again, but he might do when he gets into his corner, I suppose. But no, I don't know. It's almost as if he's got a broken pelvis or a broken back now. But then a piece of wood did fall on his back yesterday. He crashed around so much he knocked some wood off the corner. And it's not heavy wood, but it's sharp, it's rounded, it's curved piece of wood. And it was the sticking out curved bit, the convex bit that literally guillotined him right across the bottom of his back. He didn't make any noise or anything, but I don't know what damage that would have done. It's not a huge piece of wood, but it's not light, and of course falling from, I suppose, about 3.5 feet. It's just straight down like a guillotine, I say. Wouldn't have done him any bloody good. So typical. But we'll see what tonight brings.